the time of the food crisis, 2008, and the big unexpected increase in food prices, then you already moved to like the global land rush and this large scale acquisition of land by agribusiness. That I think then swung the a lot of policy attention in the rural land space into how do you manage that land grabs, and how do you on the one hand protect existing land rights in these spaces, and on the other hand facilitate investment. And that's, I think we're still working on it. A lot of these voluntary guidelines and these standards on responsible agriculture investment are the sort of slow but policy response to try to figure that out. And I think there's the things that I like to see are things like negotiated agreements between, I think the things that it becomes a land grab when the state and an investor comes and just says, well, this is all state land. The fact that there are people living here, or the fact that there's traditional claims on this area matters not to us. Then you get, a conflict. You get backlash from local communities. I think when you come in and consult and work with the local community who may be there, and try to figure out, how can this benefit them? Are there jobs? Is there outgrowing schemes? Is there contract farming that can be done? You can negotiate those. I think those are the better examples. And certainly some of these ideas like the corporate commitments, the Behind the Brands campaign, are trying to push agribusiness to do that. To sum up about the World Bank, I think the other thing that's happened is the World Bank finally figured out that land is in all of these practices. It's not just a rural thing, and it's not just about the very poor and their access to productive resources. It's very much in an urban topic, and successful urbanization, it's really going to depend on managing land questions better. And then I think this forest and climate side has also, really come up. So, I remember when I came into the bank, it's just so strange to me that the whole discourse, the whole land group was under the agricultural vice presidency, and so much of it, but then so much of the actual work we would, do, the government would say, well, we really want to get the land rights figured out in our cities first. That's where the real urgency is. And then, yeah, we're worried, we want to deal with the agricultural and the forest too, but I think the bank has now come to understand that it's this much more multivalent problem that crosses all of the landscapes.